Hey, hope you're having a good Tuesday. Thank you for joining me for today's 5 for 5. We're going to be looking in Matthew chapter 13 in just a minute. First, I wanted to encourage you, if you're watching this and you don't get these by email, make sure you have not accidentally unsubscribed. And a simple way to be able to get back on our list is just simply to email us back. Let us know. Email me at jason@fbcislands.com or contact@fbcislands.com and let us know that you're not getting our emails. You're not getting the daily 5 for 5 or our weekly newsletter. It's so easy sometimes to get unsubscribed. We'll have people who are coming every week, part of our services, part of our groups, and I'll get an unsubscribed notice. Now, we don't trace down every single person who unsubscribes because maybe you actually meant to. Maybe it was an old email and you don't want to get church email on that one. You got another one you're using. So we don't chase down everybody. But sometimes I'm surprised by those who unsubscribe. Others, maybe I haven't seen them in a while or maybe they moved away and it makes sense. But I just figure that people are just doing what they do, and sometimes they might accidentally be hitting that unsubscribe button and accidentally getting off of our list. So if you're not getting our emails, make sure you are fully subscribed. Let us know and we'll be sure. Another way you can do it is if you've got our app, look for the Get in the Loop link on there, and you can be able to follow that to let us know that you'd like to stay connected with us, even sign up for our prayer list and things like that too. So we'd love to be able to stay connected with you and make sure we're connected. It reminds me when I think about how easy it is these days to unsubscribe, how easy it is to sometimes quit hearing the things that we get. You know, our email services will start sending things to an archive folder or a clutter folder or some other kind of folder that's out there just because we're not watching those emails enough. After a while, we don't even realize that we're getting them anymore. It's easy to tune out so many of the noise and the things that we receive on a daily basis. And our electronics are just doing it automatically for us and we don't even know what's happening. It reminds me that in Matthew chapter 13, Jesus told his disciples, when they asked him why he would teach in parables, he would explain that it was so that those who were listening, those who had ears to hear and eyes to see, those who were spiritually in tuned to the message he was bringing and would spend the time it would take to hear from him, would tune in and hear it. In Matthew 13, verse 13, it says, "This is why I speak to them in parables, because seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand." Jesus explained that this was a fulfillment of the prophecy of Isaiah, of saying that there would be people who would see clearly what God was doing and still yet deny God's work around them. He says later in chapter 13, down at verse 16, he says, "But blessed are your eyes," talking to his disciples, "for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For truly I say to you, many prophets and righteous people long to see what you see, and did not see it, and to hear what you hear, and did not hear it." He was telling his disciples, and I believe he's saying the same to us as well, that when we have had a real relationship with Jesus, and we've seen truly who he is, and the work that he has already accomplished through his life, his death, and his resurrection, that we're blessed. We get to see firsthand things that many people for thousands of years were longing for before he came. And we get to have the fulfillment of the Messiah, the chosen one, the promised one in our midst. And we get to have a relationship with him. So you may ask yourself, how do I know that I'm one of those who hears, one of those who sees, who doesn't just turn a blind eye to it or just tune it out like we do so much of the noise that's around us these days? Well, Matthew 13, he shows them clearly the fulfillment of the parable of the sower that he was trying to explain to them. Down in verse 23, he shows what a life looks like for those who are hearing, those who are tuned in, those who are truly seeing what God has to say. It says, "As for what was sown on good soil, this is the one who hears the word and understands it. He indeed bears fruit and yields, in one case 100-fold, in another 60, and another 30. As you draw in close to God, if you're listening to his word and you understand from him what he's calling you to do, and you're living your life in a way that produces fruit and lives out in a way the good works that he's called you to live, but also multiplies and making disciples of others and sharing the gospel with those around you, you are living the fulfillment of this very parable as you are one who is producing and multiplying and growing and living out the good fruit of a life that's dedicated to Jesus Christ. And then you can look back and say, you truly did hear and you truly did see what it was that he wanted you to get out of your life. So I encourage you today, go look at Matthew 13, check out the word, get into the word, and truly seek to listen and hear and see what God wants to say to you today. And as you do, take it forward. Don't just stop there with the listening and the hearing, but go with the doing as we go and follow his word in obedience. Hope you have a great day.